Hello, I'm Charles Xavier, spelled as Z. Today we'll be looking at the 12 days of Christmas to determine the etiquette of each and every one of those presents. Let us commence! Etiquette with Charles. Now you might be looking around and thinking to yourself that this is not where you would expect to find an etiquette expert. To which I would reply, ha 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 ha! This is actually my nephew's gaming room, who shows great restraint by only playing once every 2 weeks. Ah, that 27-year-old child is going places, I tell you. This is a song I will be going into blind. For you see, growing up, we were more of a we wish you a Merry Christmas type town, where we would wander the streets and demand that the wealthy give us some figgy pudding, lest we perform a vandalism upon their doorstep. And wouldn't you know it, they would happily oblige. It was a wondrous time of the year, and the only time of the year where you could eat figgy pudding. For if you were caught eating figgy pudding in April, there were dire consequences. People would wander up to you and be like, "Hello, sir. Are you eating figgy pudding on April 21st? And you would have to sheepishly tell them, yes. In return, they would reply, "You know it's not Christmas anymore." And then, embarrassingly, you would shovel the final few spoonfuls into your mouth and be on your way. Which brings us to our first etiquette tip, which is only eat seasonal foods in the appropriate season. I still hear their voices today. Are you eating figgy pudding? Anyways, enough dithering and dathering, let's get to the task at hand. Fantastic! We're starting off with a bird and a tree. However, partridges don't reside in trees. They build their nests near trees. So we're already starting our days of merriment by confusing a bird. Unless that bird has been cooked and prepared. In which case, what a fun game! There's a partridge in a tree. Get it, and you have dinner. A wonderful way to spend the afternoon. But if that partridge is still alive, leave it on the ground. After all, it's quite rude taking someone's home and then lifting it several feet in the air. You wouldn't like that. Alright, on to the next day. 2 birds? Was one not sufficient the first day? Now, if I'm hearing this correctly, it appears that you receive the prior day's gift on each ascending day. Which means on the 12th day of Christmas, your true love will have 12 partridges and 12 pear trees? That is a grove of trees! Does she have sufficient land to sustain this foliage? A partridge and a sunflower would have been far more economic in terms of space. Now already by the 12th day, your true love will have 12 trees, 12 partridges, and 24 doves. Is she some sort of clumsy magician? Is this whole list of gifts nothing more than a litany of birds? Where are they to reside? I hear no mentions of hen homes or dove abodes. Only several perplexed partridges perched improperly. Etiquette tip, if you're gifting live animals, also gift them a place to live. This is preposterous. On this day alone, your true love is receiving 10 birds. The only person who would want this many birds would be my primary school nemesis, who was always rather boisterous about visiting his uncle in his vacation home to hunt the most dangerous game of all. Pigeon. Perfect gift, no notes. I'm becoming increasingly alarmed at what is happening here. Is this merely a zookeeper with an overly promiscuous aviary bestowing these gifts? And by bestowing, I mean decluttering his venue. If this is the case, they will simply produce more birds, creating more of a burden to the giftee. Which brings us to our next etiquette tip. Don't gift these birds in round numbers. I swear, if the next one is another bird, I am ending this right here, right now. No one can tend to this amount of creatures. Not to mention, birds are terrifying. Unless you're an oddity like the nephew of the Duke of Birds, spelled a Y. My bitter primary school rival. I haven't forgotten you. Well, this is quite the twist. We've gone from Sky Terror to maids. But one question, what are the maids milking? Is it the swans? Is it the geese? Don't tell me we're imbibing in turtle dove milk this festive season. Day 7 could have easily been 7 bovines that would have been ready to be milked on day 8. And the callback to that would have been adorable, or as the kids say these days, very fetch. But instead we have this wasted opportunity, which is adjacent to rude. Well, this is quite fun. Who doesn't enjoy a bit of theater? lords are leaping, you say? From my experience, a lord would never be caught with both feet off the ground. What a shiny shilling you would have had to spend to convince one, let alone 10 of them to get off their cushy couches over there in, I don't know, Bird County and do a hop. Or perhaps you simply made a jest, slightly inaudibly, about chalking up sums on the whiteboard, which they heard, and then repeated in a slightly louder tone, causing the entire class to guffaw out of their loafers. How I hate you, Lord Branathan, a bird! I will personally see to it that you are never a royal. Now hold on a second. Why are the instrumentalists arriving after the dancers? For the past 2 days, were the lords leaping and the rug cutting happening to complete silence? That's weird. Etiquette tip: dance to music. Follow-up etiquette tip: if you're hiring dancers, have music. Don't panic after 2 days and then hire 11 pipers. Have you ever heard a piper? All you need is one. The order here is rather perplexing. I do understand why you would not want a piper arriving in each of those 12 days. However, cramming 11 into one day and then 22 the next day is arguably worse for the eardrums. Well, speaking of eardrums, oh, but in all seriousness, this day would be an absolute hellscape of sound, feathers, and irate feathers from the sound. Just for a quick rundown, for your true love, of which I have doubts of after seeing this list, you're bestowing her with 12 drummers drumming, 11 pipers piping, 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. And the day prior, you gave her 11 pipers piping, 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings, 4 birds a calling, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree, which the day prior she received 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8... In this moment, I am going to bequeath upon you the most valuable advice I have ever given. Take the money you would have spent on all of these presents and then go to an arcade where you could win yourself a giant teddy bear and then gift that to your true love. Regale her with tales of bawling ski, revolting against dance, or my personal favorite, pushing a button and hoping for the best. Not 22 pipers in the vicinity of 42 geese. If you insist on going down this route, on the 12th day, simply buy yourself a down pillow, smack them in the face with it, and then screech loudly in their ears. Etiquette lesson complete. And now for the pop quiz. Question 1. Where do partridges reside? Question 2. If the milkmaid is going to milk milk, what might the milkmaid require? Finally, question 3. Who lives in Bird County and sucks? Go ahead, leave your answers in the comments, but remember, no cheating. Cheating is rude.